do you think, Byrd? I think even I could look good in this baby.
I think this car could make you look good. Hey, welcome to Two Guys Garage. We've got a 72 Chevelle. We got a lot of cool upgrades. We've got a monster transmission from the guys at Monster Transmission. Gonna add an overdrive, throw a differential in this thing. A few other cool tricks.
All kinds of tips, tricks, stuff. Stay tuned. You know my favorite thing on these 70s muscle cars?
What's that?
You know that foot-shaped gas pedal, the chrome one you used to get?
The bear or whatever, the barefoot?
Yeah. Now we got a 72 Chevelle. The normal deal on here, we've upgraded the carb, we've upgraded the engine, we've upgraded the exhaust. Sounds better, it brakes better, everything's there. But all of a sudden the next one to go is the transmission.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're gonna do today is we're gonna update the transmission in this Chevelle, and we're gonna do it in two ways. We're gonna give it a whole lot more power and torque capability, so it's stout. We're going to give it a whole lot more functionality with the car.
The thing is, these came with a turbo 350, so it's got 3 gears. Well, what we want to do is switch it out to a more modern transmission like this 700R4. 700R4 is going to have 4 gears, so now you're going to get a better low, you're going to get a better high, you're going to get a lot more horsepower capability. Really, just all in all, you're going to really modernize a car like this.
Absolutely. That taller first gear is going to give you better acceleration. Don't even have to swap out the rear end. And that overdrive is going to keep you from screaming down the highway when you're only doing like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, you get a muscle car like this, stock, 65, oh, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
We'll be able to take it down by like 30% down to, you know, really lower the RPM a lot, and it's so much more comfortable to drive.
Which is great when you're cruising, a lot better fuel economy. We're going to have performance on the starts too, so why don't you get the thing up on the lift?
Okay.
I'll start getting the parts together. Let's get this thing installed. All right, we got the drive shaft out. We're just gonna wiggle this trans cross member out from under here a little bit. Notice we got a trans jack. We're gonna let it down just a little bit. Throw the hook over the side, strap it down, be nice and safe. We got last 2 bolts on that belt housing. This thing's ready to drop on down. So let me get this thing wiggled here, Brian. There we go. Let me let this down just a little bit. All right, I got that bolt. Let this down.
About ready?
Let's see if we can't wiggle this thing back. Oh yeah, there we go.
Okay,
nice and gooey.
Ready to go down?
Yeah.
Watch the tail shaft.
Yeah. Move that back a little bit more, and we'll make sure we're not catching anything like headers, cables, all vacuum lines.
Now we're gonna need to slide backwards a little bit.
Yep.
Down.
There we go.
More.
Yep.
Lines out of the way.
And do this slow. Drop everything down slow. Hang on. Because you'll always have something snagging on something.
We had a kickdown cable that was up top. We got that off and fished it through. We got our lines off. We got our drive shaft out, so we unbolted that and slid it. And what else? Let's see, we had our shifter was right here, so our bolts around the case. That was about it.
It's a good, dirty, nasty job, but it's going to be totally worth it. We're out there banging gears and cruising.
Exactly. All right, we're off to the next phase.
Yeah, let's get the other one set up, and we're ready to push it back up in here.
All right, here's our 2 transmissions. Now you see one hand? Ooh, nice new clean.
Clean, shiny.
See that old turbo 350? Nice and dirty, that's why that glove is there. Now, when you look at the difference of the two, you may wonder, okay, what do I have in my car? Well, you can research it, but an easy way to do it too, look and see how many pan bolts you have, look at the shape, and you can look on Monster's website, and they've got a diagram of all that stuff, as well as a lot of other great information.
Yeah, well, one thing nice about this kit is it includes just about everything. Since we're doing a conversion, a lot of things are changing. It's not just a direct bolt and replacement, but it is now because they give you all sorts of stuff. One area that's going to change is the crossmember. This transmission's longer than that one, so we're going to have to move the crossmember back. But GM was great on this vehicle. They've got multiple holes along the frame rails, so this one's going to be pretty easy.
Yeah, that's lucky. All we have to do is move it back a couple of notches, put it in another factory hole, because they came with other transmissions. You could get a turbo 350 or a turbo 400 in this thing, and depending on the length, actually if you look at the tail shaft, look at the mount, there's one mount here, and there's another mount on the back side of that tail shaft, and depending on what you had in your original car is going to determine where you put your cross member. Now on our original, you can see that ours is right in that location. So.
Yeah, if only they had an adjustable drive shaft, this would be a piece of cake.
Right. Now if you look down the shifter, we're also going to have a problem in that area, and they've got a little kit for that. There's a couple of grommets, and you're going to bolt in. Now the couple of issues, obviously, we're going from 3 gears to 4 gears. And what that's going to do, it's going to change the gait of our shifter. So if you look at this, that's all going to change. You bolt it in. Now you're going to have overdrive 3, 2, 1. And look at the shifter. Look at this little plate. How cool is that? You put that into your original shifter. It looks just like the factory. You'd never even know.
And now you got a D.
Yeah.
You never had a D before? Now you got a D. Well, the other thing they give you that changes between the 350 and the 700R4 is it used to be vacuum modulated for shifts, a kickdown cable that all got integrated into a TV cable. So TV cable comes with it. We'll show you how to adjust it. We're going to mount it on before it goes up into the car. So a couple of these things will bolt on, and we're going to actually get it in the car and start getting it bolted together.
Okay, I think that's about it. We're ready to go. We're going to put this in, but right now we got to take a break, so stay tuned.
This segment of Two Guys Garage is brought to you by...
We're ready to start jacking this thing up, hooking up some of our peripherals, and bolt it in.
Why don't you go ahead and pump over there. Now I'm going to show you on the cross member. Now we've moved it back out of the way, that way we can push this in, and it's longer than the old one, so you need to really kind of get it out of your way. These are the holes we were talking about for the cross member. That gives you a lot of locations. Factories do that so they can do different transmissions. Makes it easy for us because we can just go ahead and install another transmission in as well. Now right here, this is your Speedo cable. It looks the same as they have for many years. That plugs in the same as before. Now this is your shift cable. Cool thing is we're using the original shifter, just like we talked about with the new OD plate. And it's gonna go right into this little dude. Click into there, piece of cake. And we got our TV cable, which is kind of tucked in over here. So pretty much this is a nice, easy install. Now before we put it in, we're going to make sure that we go ahead, we're going to get our lines put into the opposite side. Here they are kind of sticking out. So we're going to put our lines on. We're going to go ahead and put our dipstick in. And we're also going to put our, let's see, we have one more. What's the other one?
TV cable.
Got to put the TV cable in. So we put those 3 in. That way they're already onto the transmission. So when we jack it up, it's going to be a lot easier to locate ahead of time.
Yeah, we can run the final bolts down. Nice thing about the Monster kit, like Brian says, it comes with everything, but even on top of that, they can tailor it. They build it basically to your specifications. So depending on what vehicle you're running, what weight it is, what gear in ratio, what tire diameter, or what cam spec is a big one for picking out a torque converter. They've got a software program, you give them all your specs, they'll spit out exactly what you need for a converter. You can talk to them about shifts, shift quality, how hard it shifts, or maybe how relaxed for cruising. So they can put a kit especially together for what you want, the right style of cables maybe to match what you're building, and build a transmission to meet your horsepower targets as well as anything else you need, you know, in the transmission department.
Okay, got the shifter cable about done there. Everything's in, got our lines in, TV cable on the opposite side, cross members tightened, so I think we're about ready for drive shaft.
Yeah, so we've got our old drive shaft measured. It's about 3 inches shorter now going in with this longer transmission. We got all those dimensions over to Monster Transmission, and they're going to hook us up with a brand new drive shaft.
Yeah, cool thing is you can see right here, it's 3 inches longer. They knew that, so you just order straight from them. Shows up at your house, ready to go. So right now we got to take a break.